Welcome back to the deep dive. Let's start today with a really specific, really universal moment.
Okay.
It's 7:20 a.m. You're staring into your closet. The coffee hasn't quite kicked in yet.
I know this feeling.
You reach in and you grab something. Maybe it's those sweatpants with the loose elastic or that wrinkled t-shirt from, I don't know, a 5K you did 3 years ago.
Right.
You put it on, you look in the mirror, and you just feel kind of meh.
It's the path of least resistance.
Huh.
You're covering your body, but you aren't really dressing.
Exactly. You feel functional, sure. You're not naked, but you're definitely not optimized. You're just sort of surviving the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But then, and I think everyone listening has felt this too, there are those other days.
Oh, yeah.
You wake up, you grab a specific hoodie or like it's a crisp jacket, you put it on, and suddenly your whole posture changes. You stand a little taller, you feel activated.
That shift is real.
Yeah.
It's so palpable.
Yeah.
And it's not just vanity, it's psychology.
Well, that shift is exactly what we're unpacking today. We're doing a deep dive into the philosophy behind a brand called BKLEO Clothing.
Right.
Now, hold on. Before you think we're just talking about streetwear trends or it's cool for the season, kind of pump the brakes.
Yeah, this isn't that.
Because the material we're looking at argues that clothing isn't really about fashion at all.
No, not in the traditional sense. This is much closer to behavioral psychology than it is to runway fashion. We're looking at a manifesto that frames clothing as a tool for psychological alignment.
Psychological alignment, I like that phrase. The core mission here is dressing with purpose. We're going to explore how a piece of cotton, a hoodie, a tea can function as armor, as a signpost for growth, and essentially as a switch to flip your brain.
From surviving mode to building mode.
Exactly.
It's a fascinating intersection. Usually you think of self-improvement as something you do with a book or a meditation app. You don't often think of it as something you pull off a hanger. But the central argument here is that clothing is an external trigger for an internal state.
Let's get right into the meat of it. The core philosophy of BKLEO is summed up in a pretty bold statement. Fashion is energy. Fashion is intent.
Right.
Now, to me, that sounds a little esoteric, you know? Like, is my t-shirt really energy?
It sounds esoteric until you look at the science behind it. Psychologists actually have a name for this. It's called enclothed cognition.
Enclosed cognition. Okay, what is that?
It's the phenomenon where the symbolic meaning of the clothes we wear actually changes how our brain processes information and how we view ourselves.
So, like, if you wear a doctor's coat.
Your attention span actually increases. It's been proven. If you wear a suit, you tend to think more abstractly and feel more authoritative.
So BKLEO is basically just leveraging that psychological hack.
Exactly. When they say fashion is energy, they're saying that clothes tell your mind, okay, we're in control today. Think about the difference between that and the meh feeling you were talking about. If you wear something that signals lazy to you, your brain creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. You act lazy.
So if I'm wearing something that signals power or resilience to me, I'm kind of hacking my own operating system.
You are giving a command to your subconscious. And the manifesto puts it really well. It says, this shift isn't about impressing other people. It's about stepping into alignment.
It's a signal to yourself.
Yes, that's the key.
That distinction is crucial. I feel like we spend so much time dressing for the audience, my boss, my date, you know, the people on the subway. But this argues that the most important audience is you.
The person in the mirror. It's your voice before you speak, but you are the primary listener.
I like that.
When you wear something that aligns with your goals, say a shirt that represents building an empire, you're reinforcing that identity to yourself. You're signaling that you're not just a passive observer in your life.
You are shifting from surviving to building.
There it is. That's the pivot.
And what I found interesting is that the brand, it was built with intention for specific moments. They acknowledge that life isn't always a highlight reel.
Right. Sometimes you're down, sometimes you're healing.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this different from, standard hustle culture merch. It acknowledges the full human experience. We have phases. Sometimes we're in the dust. Sometimes we're rising.
And the clothing acts as a support system, a physical anchor.
Yes, an anchor during those transitions.
Okay, let's talk about those anchors. Because BKLEO puts these very intense, very specific slogans on the gear. They call them mantras.
And they really are affirmations, not just graphic design.
They're designed to create that cognitive alignment we just talked about. Let's break down the first one because it's intense.
It is.
Fearless to the bone, nothing breaks me.
To the bone. That is such a specific choice of words.
It is. It's not, I'm feeling brave today.
Exactly. Feelings are fleeting. You can feel brave at 9:00 a.m. and, terrified by 10:00 a.m. But to the bone implies structural integrity.
Like it's part of your
It's
skeleton.
part of your anatomy. It suggests that resilience isn't just a mood, it's who you are. And then the second half, nothing breaks me. That's an absolute...
So what does that do psychologically?
Well, it creates a binary. Imagine wearing that shirt into a high-stakes meeting or a difficult personal conversation.
Okay.
You have nothing breaks me literally on your chest. If you start to cower or back down, you create what's called cognitive dissonance.
That's the friction between who you say you are and how you're acting, right?
Precisely. And your brain hates that friction. It wants your actions to match your labels. So if you are wearing the label "nothing breaks me," your brain will actually push you to stand firmer, to speak clearer, just to resolve that conflict.
So the shirt literally helps you hold the line. It's like wearing a contract with yourself.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, let's look at the next one because this one feels very, very relevant today. Restricted access, authorized only.
Oh, I love this one. This is all about boundaries.
It feels like a do not disturb sign for your soul.
In a way, yeah. I mean, we live in an attention economy. Everyone wants a piece of you, your boss, your email, social media.
Everyone.
We are constantly accessible. And wearing restricted access is a reclamation of your personal space. It's saying, my energy is VIP only.
Right. It signals self-respect.
It reminds the wearer that their energy is a finite resource, and it shouldn't be given away cheaply. And again, it's not just telling others to back off, it's reminding you not to overextend yourself.
A reminder I think a lot of people could use on a Tuesday afternoon.
Absolutely.
Now, the third mantra, this one is a narrative. It's a story in a single sentence. From dust, I rise reborn with purpose.
This creates a connection to the phoenix archetype, the classic story of death and rebirth. But what stands out to me here is the acknowledgement of the dust.
Yeah, you can't rise if you haven't fallen.
Exactly. A lot of motivational stuff is just win, win, win. This phrase validates the rock bottom. It says, yes, I was in the dust. I was broken.
But it doesn't leave you there.
No, it focuses on the active choice to rise. I rise. Present tense. Active voice.
I see.
It frames the struggle not as the end of the story, but as the prequel to the comeback. So if you're going through a layoff, a divorce, a health crisis, this is a way to contextualize that pain.
It tells you this is just the dust phase. The rise is coming.
It turns you into the protagonist of your own movie.
Speaking of characters, it seems like DKLEO has designed specific products for specific character types or archetypes.
Yes, they seem to be offering different costumes for the different roles we need to play in our own lives.
Okay, let's run through a few of these. First up, the why not tee, and that's why not, with a period at the end.
The punctuation matters. It's a statement, not a question. This is for the disruptor archetype.
The person who's tired of the status quo.
Right. It symbolizes risk, rebellion, bold creativity.
Yeah.
It's for the person who looks at a closed door and just sees a challenge. Asking why not is the root of all innovation.
It's the antidote to playing it safe.
It is. It challenges you to justify your own hesitation. If you look in the mirror and see why not, you kind of have to come up with a good reason not to take the risk. And, well, usually you can't.
Then on the other side of the spectrum, we have the building empire, one dream at a time, hoodie. This feels different.
Very different.
This isn't about sudden risk. It's about the long game.
This is the hustler or the builder archetype. This is for the person who is in the trenches.
The late night grind.
Exactly. Building an empire is slow.
Yeah.
It's tedious. It's lonely. This hoodie connects that daily unglamorous grind, one dream at a time, to the massive ultimate goal, the empire.
It provides perspective.
It validates the struggle. It reminds you that you aren't just answering emails or, laying bricks. You are constructing a cathedral. It reframes the mundane as meaningful.
And finally, there's the built different relaxed tee.
The outsider.
Built different is a huge phrase in sports right now, but here it feels like it's about something more, like neurodivergence or just not fitting the mold.
I think it appeals to anyone who has ever felt like they don't quite fit in. And instead of viewing that difference as a defect, this shirt frames it as a feature.
It's a strength.
Yes. My operating system is not the same as yours, and that is my strength. It's a celebration of uniqueness.
So if you put all this together, the mantras, the archetypes, it really does connect back to this idea of dressing for the chapter you're stepping into.
That's the perfect way to phrase it. We move through chapters in life. Sometimes you need to be the rebel, sometimes you need to be the builder,
Or the phoenix rising.
right? And the clothing allows you to physicalize that stage. You're literally putting on the costume of the person you need to be that day.
Now, I have to play the skeptic for a second.
Go for it.
This sounds great in theory fashion as energy, clothes as armor. It's a fantastic marketing pitch. But does it actually land? Does it work for real people, or is it just, a cool font on a shirt?
That's the million-dollar question. And this is where the social proof comes in. The data is there. Over 12,000 customers, a 4.8-star average. But I'm more interested in the qualitative data.
The stories.
The stories. They use this metaphor of the confidence vault. The idea that your closet isn't just storage, it's a resource you draw from.
Let's look at some of these specific users. Take Daniel K. He says, each time I put on a hoodie, I'm reminded of how far I've come.
That's interesting because it's retrospective. For him, the hoodie acts as a trophy.
A monument to his survival.
Exactly. Every time he puts it on, he gets a little dopamine hit of accomplishment. It's not just keeping him warm, it's validating his personal history.
It's like wearing a medal, but it's comfy fleece.
Right. Then you have Ashley R. She says simply, it's more than clothing. It's a mindset.
So she's fully bought into the enclothed cognition idea we were talking about.
She validates the core premise. She isn't talking about the fabric or the fit. She's talking about the mental state it creates.
But the one that really stopped me was from a guy named Marcus J.
Oh, I remember this one.
His quote is so profound. He says, I'm not who I used to be. I'm stronger and proud of my growth.
I'm not who I used to be. That is a declaration of an identity shift. Marcus is using the clothing to draw a hard line in the sand between his past self and his present self.
It's almost like shedding a skin.
It is. The clothing is the uniform of his new identity. If he puts on his old clothes, maybe he feels like his old self, but when he puts on this gear, he is stronger. He's confirming his evolution to himself.
And that brings us right back to that confidence vault image. If your closet is full of those meh clothes, your vault is empty.
Right. You're trying to pay for the day's challenges with zero currency.
Yeah.
When you open those closet doors in the morning, you are making a withdrawal. You're withdrawing confidence to spend on the world. BKLEO is essentially arguing. Stock the vault. Make sure that when you reach in, you're grabbing an asset, not liability.
So we've covered the philosophy, the deep psychology, the archetypes, the proof. The manifesto wraps up with a pretty direct challenge, a call to action.
It presents a binary choice, which is always very effective. It asks, are you going to keep dressing the usual way?
The passive way, the surviving way.
Or are you going to begin dressing for your future self, for the chapter you are stepping into?
It brings back that armor metaphor. You're walking into a room with the message, I'm here, I'm climbing, I'm becoming.
That word becoming is so vital. It emphasizes that you are a work in progress. It's dynamic.
They're not a finished product.
You're in motion. And the clothing is the gear for that climb.
It effectively transforms the act of getting dressed from just a chore into a ritual.
It invites intentionality into a really mundane moment. I mean, think about it. We get dressed every single day, 365 times a year.
Yeah.
If you can turn that 30-second act into a moment of mindfulness where you actively choose who you're going to be that day, well, that is a massive compound effect on your life.
It's not about vanity. It's about alignment.
Right. Does your outside match your inside? Or, maybe better yet, does your outside match where your inside wants to go?
Fake it till you make it, but with better fabrics.
Or wear it till you are it.
I like that better. And they really emphasize you aren't doing this alone. They talk about the community, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. It's at BKLEO Clothing.
Which reinforces the shared journey, knowing that thousands of other people are out there also rising from the dust, also building empires. It creates a sense of solidarity. It validates the whole mission.
So let's bring this deep dive in for a landing. We've looked at BKLEO not just as a clothing brand, but as a vehicle for self-signaling.
We've seen how phrases like fearless to the bone can act as psychological anchors that, prevent that cognitive dissonance.
And we've discussed how moving from a surviving mindset to a building mindset can be triggered by something as simple and as powerful as the shirt you choose to put on your back.
It's a tool. Just like a calendar is a tool for your time, this is a tool for your energy.
And in a world that is so often chaotic and draining, having that tangible reminder that armor is incredibly valuable.
It really is.
So here is the final thought I want to leave you with today. It's a question for tomorrow morning when you're standing in front of that closet, coffee in hand.
Okay.
If your clothing is indeed your voice before you speak, What has your outfit been saying about you today?
It's a confronting question.
It is. Has it been saying, I'm tired, I'm hiding, I'm just getting by? Or is it time to change the script? Is it time for your outfit to say, I'm climbing, I'm becoming?
There's a shift.
Something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the psychology of a wearable mindset.
Always a pleasure.
Stay bold, live loud, and we'll catch you on the next one.